Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. And in this one, I'm going to tackle Stockholm versus Gothenburg. And I know I'm going to make some people mad by this, but I'm just going to talk about my first impressions of both and like the different cultural things I've noticed. Now, Gothenburg is the second largest city in Sweden. And there's this big rivalry between Stockholm and Gothenburg and which one is best. And a lot of people have their own opinions, but I'm just going to talk about my experiences. Like the first city I really saw a lot was Stockholm. And Stockholm is a beautiful, amazing city with really great restaurants, food, museums. There's so much stuff to see. Old Town is fantastic and amazing. But with all that said, it is very kind of rushed. I always notice, like you're always rushing. There's a lot of people. Everybody there kind of seems like they're in a hurry at the same time. So like Stockholm has so much stuff, but they're always in a hurry. Whereas like Gothenburg, when I had my experience there, I just kind of could tell that everything moved at a little bit of a slower pace and everybody there was just kind of a little bit more relaxed. And I was by myself when I was in both places. And when I was in Gothenburg, people would strike up a conversation with me. I had one or two people would just come up and talk to me. I had a guitar with me and they were talking to me about music and it was just an older guy. And I was like, this doesn't happen in Sweden. Like, what's going on? So I noticed that the Gothenburg was really kind of friendly. Not that Stockholm's not friendly, just Stockholm people are like in a little bit more of a rush. And what I've learned personally is that because I'm like a musician and just like a chill dude, Gothenburg just really works for me. Like it would be a dream for me to be able to live in Gothenburg at some point. But I do have to be fair. When I visited both cities, for a while, it always seemed like every time I went to Stockholm, it rained. Almost every single time. And there was very few times that I actually got to have really nice weather. And when I went to visit Gothenburg for the first time, it was like a total week of just beautiful weather. So that might be a little bit why I'm biased. But I also just like the way they do like the public transportation in Gothenburg. I like how you can take the rail cars to go on the road. That's really, really cool. But at the same time, Stockholm has some of the best public transportation in the world. It's really, really impressive. So I do enjoy both. But comparing both of those to like Linköping, where I live now, I like Linköping a lot overall. I don't really know why. I guess like I started my life here, and what I like about Linköping is it feels like a city, but it's not like a massive city. I mean, I see the same faces every single day, but they have enough. Linköping to me has enough stuff. It has enough stuff for me. I like to run around the little river here. I like to visit the shops. I like to get the ice cream from the ice cream place in the middle of town, and I love running here. So for me, personality-wise, I'm not like a huge, big city person. I don't really like being around a lot of people. It's not that I don't like people. I just don't like a lot of noise and hustle and bustle. And sometimes when I'm in Stockholm and I'm taking like the train, or if I'm just like in the public transportation, like taking a bus, for me, it's a lot of noise and it's very, very loud. And it used to be when I first came to Sweden, when people were just speaking Swedish around me, I didn't even understand what they were saying. So I was totally able to just shut out the Swedish. But as I've lived here long enough and I understand a lot more Swedish, for whatever reason, my ears just kind of pick up on what Swedes are talking about, what they're doing, and I eavesdrop without even trying to eavesdrop on their conversations. So where I noticed like Gothenburg, yeah, it was a city, it was big, but I didn't notice the same kind of thing with the public transportation. I didn't notice it as big, and I never felt rushed to be anywhere. Finally, Linköping's great. It's got great public transportation. I used a bus for like a year and a half one time, had a really, really good time here. And, I wouldn't mind living here for the rest of my life, really. I haven't really decided, but Linköping to me just feels like home. And as much as it would be awesome to live in Gothenburg, I think this is a really great town. I think the people here are pretty friendly overall. I think there's some interesting culture here and the arts here, and there's some great musicians that's come from here, like Ghost. So overall, really pleasant experience living in all three, if I could live in all three. But I want to ask you guys, like, if you've been to Linköping, what have you noticed? But also, what do you think about Gothenburg versus Stockholm? Am I right here? Is it true that Gothenburg's a little bit more chilled, a little bit more relaxed, and that Stockholm is like a little bit more rushed? The other thing is the Stockholm accent to me sounds a little uppity. It's kind of funny. Like when you hear someone, I'm not saying people are uppity or like posh. But I will say that the Stockholm accent, to me, I used to not hear the different dialects, but now I can hear like Stockholm accent or Skåne, and it's just interesting that it feels a little bit more like posh, if you will. So if you live in Stockholm or Gothenburg, I love both of you guys. I love your city and everything else. Tell me what you think in the comments below. See you in the next video. Hello.